Hello everyone, my name's Lewis. I'm a business and charity consultant, and that's all you're probably going to hear about me today. You'll be hearing a little bit more about the company that I work for in a little while, but hopefully it doesn't come across as me trying to sell you anything, as really I have nothing to sell. So today I'm going to talk to you about the greatest word in the English language, or any language I think, which is this word here, which is no. And then in case you didn't quite get it at the start, I'll put a little asterisk here, which goes here, and it says just no. So, a couple of fun facts about the word no. It is a complete sentence. You can just say no. It is also the shortest sentence. It is joint shortest with me, but apart from that, I haven't found another one. My mission today is to show you how saying no for a reason leads to a stronger business. I'm going to put this back up at the end, and you can all tell me whether I achieved my mission or whether it was a failure to launch or a crash on return. So it's going to be in three parts, like all good things, like all Shakespeare plays. The first one, I'm going to identify what the problem with saying yes all the time is. It's my belief as a business consultant that a mindless yes kills businesses. And hopefully I'm going to prove it to you. Just saying yes to an existing or a new customer is taking the first job available. Just the one that happened to be there when you came in, the one that's being presented, and that's the only reason you have for doing it. There's no, I need this, or this is really good for me. No, it's simply saying yes all the time is whenever something presents itself to you, you just turn around and go, all right, I'll do that. Whether it be good for you, bad for you, whether it be a pot washing job or being the CEO of a massive company, if it happens to walk through the door, that's how much control you have on it. But I need money, they scream and shout. And it's true. And there's another couple of slides in a little while where I talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of saying no. And one of those, spoiler alert, is, but I need money. Because it's actually really hard to say no, because what most people see no as is a way to not have money, is a way to reject money, is a way to be negative in the world. And I'm here today to try and convince you that that's not the case. You are a finite human, okay? And if we were to pull you all down into four-sided shape, you'd roughly look like this, okay? No arms, no legs, that's you. That's your capacity. That's what you can do in a day. If you want to go crazy, that could be 18, 19, 20 hours a day. For most normal human beings, it's 8 hours a day. And if you're a guy on the internet who thinks he can do it in 4 hours a week, great, good for you. That could be 4 hours. So whatever it is, whether you're a single dad, whether you're a single mum, whether you have 2 or 3 jobs, whether this is a side hustle, this is how much work you can actually do well, okay? And that's going to be important in a second. This is your sales bingo board, okay? Each one of those squares represents a person, okay? A person who you might like to work with, they might like to work with you, okay? You contact them all, every last one of them, in a sales campaign. That can be email, it can be on your website. And 4 of them want to work with you. Okay? Brilliant. If we do all 4 of those, that is 4 times our capacity. Okay? That means we are doing one of these things. We are overcommitting ourselves, so we're working harder, we're working for longer, we're working for more stress. It dilutes the amount of work we do. Even if we're only working 4 or 5 hours, that's 16 hours that we're now working on this potentially. It's risky. We might do good work, we might do bad work, we might do tired work, angry work. We burn ourselves out. We can't do this forever. You will hate working with some of these people, either because you become a monster or because they become a monster, because you're trying to do too much, trying to do it. And you will miss other opportunities. Other opportunities, once you've done this, will come in and they might be better. They might be more productive for you, they might be more positive for you. So, we do this. We identify the one that we want to work with, okay? But if we just do it for the same way that we always say yes to everything, and we pick one randomly, it's random, we've got no reason as to why we're doing it, it's dangerous because we might hate them and all the other things that we've decided that we want to do. You could damage your reputation because you've just picked it at random. You might be good at this job, you might be bad at this job. It can create emotional damage where you feel bad because you think you're doing a job that you're not supposed to be doing, and why am I here, and why do they hate me, and why, all of those horrible things that we all feel as both business owners and as freelancers. And it gives me anxiety. Was this the right one? Was this the right one? We'll never know, and we'll live forever in anxiety. But let's say we find a reason, and I'm going to give you how we do that in a moment. Let's say that we say that we know how much work we want to do. We've researched and we've found the things that we want to say. That's our perfect scenario. Our perfect scenario is no, 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 yes. 75% of the words in that sentence are no. That's how often we're now saying no. And if you think you're bored of saying the word no, I've done this loads of times and said it, okay? My son, who's 7, I told him what I was doing today, and he said, Daddy, you said no and yes 6 times explaining that to me. And I said, just you wait. So, let's just take another question of maths. When we want to grow, is this our answer? Do we just take another pot from the same thing? We said no before for a good reason, right? Whatever that reason might be. So to now say yes to something we would have said no just because we want more money is going back to the way we were before. Is this the way we do it? I have some terrible news. This is the way that we do it. We double the amount of people we speak to. We find the number of the same number of goods and the same number of bads and the same number of go-aways. Growth is not doing more bad projects. It's doing more good, great, brilliant projects. So, I skipped over a big part of that then, and this is part 2, which is deciding when to say no with values. Surprise. This is an entire presentation about company values. Yeah. How do we know the difference between good and bad? Ta-da! Fantastic. Values, and the way that I see values, and not everybody sees values the same way, it gives you a good reason to focus on the right things. It gives you the ability to say no. So how do we get them? Values are a sorting machine. They're not rejecting opportunities out of arrogance. You're just only built to accept the things that you are good for. What should your values look like? They should look like this. The way that you talk to people, the way that you feel, the way that you act should move people into, I like working with you, you like working with me, we like working together, I have the skills, you have the problem, let's pull this together. Bang, 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 bang. You then only do this one or that one, depending on what you signed off for in advance. If you're on your own, it's really easy, okay? You just go, these are my values, I've written them down, I know what they are, I'm going to live my life like that. Isn't that brilliant? If you are in a group of people, you need shared values. That's an entire another presentation. Maybe one day in a few years I'll get invited back and we can do that one instead. But they need to be simple. You need to be able to understand them very quickly. They need to be realistic. So it can't be, I will never work with anyone ever. I'm only going to work with one, I only want to work with a national trust. That's probably unrealistic. And they have to be believed. You have to believe them. It have to be the thing that you want to be. It needs to reflect who you are so that when you make them, that you know why you're making them. These are my values. The reason why I've chosen my values and not Tesla's values is because I don't believe in Tesla's values. I believe in my values. And so what I'm going to try and do in the next couple of minutes without selling Underpin as a business to you is I'm going to talk about how I use and create my values to say no almost all the time. My values are be good, do good, collaborate. Haven't quite gotten to the chest tattoo yet. It's on the way. What does this mean if we think about it as a sorting machine? Well, this is what it actually means. Be good, for me, means only work when you're passionate, only work when you can help, work for a fair rate, get paid on time, get paid for your value. If things change, leave. Do good, only work on things you agree with, work with those you need it most. If you commit, do it. If it changes, leave. Listen, you rarely have the only good idea. Collaborate. Work with those who want to help themselves, work with those who have their own ideas, work with those who listen. Sound great, don't they? I certainly think so. Okay, so already you can see I am creating those triangles in the sorting machine that allows me to split through certain things. Interesting fact, this one means I mostly, unless it's a charity, get paid in advance for everything I do 100% up front. Because if they truly want me, and I'm truly being good, then you pay me. So, these are all my values in a big long list. Be good, do good, collaborate. It's much easier to remember. But these are all the things that I do. And you can see, when I need to make decisions, when someone in a company needs to make decisions, it goes here, it goes there, blah, 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 it kind of comes back on itself. Opportunities drop in here. Values. The wrong shape is rejected. The wrong shape is rejected. The right fit says yes. Things I can now honestly say if I follow those rules, okay? And they equal no. I'm not built to handle that. It's not something I'd be very good at. There's better people to handle this than me. This doesn't align with my values. I can't do it because the rules I set don't allow me to. That one at the bottom is like, okay, you haven't got the first four. This is how big it's going to be. It's not personal. I'm not saying I don't like you. It's not saying I don't want to work with you. It's saying I'm not built for that. I'm doing it for you, which is one of those horrible things that kind of bullies say. You know, I'm doing this, but I am doing it for them. Because if I'm not the right fit for the job, if I'm not the best I can possibly be, then I'm going to be a bad time for you. There are lots of people that don't want to work with me, and that's okay, because I value myself. I'm waiting for the right one with my little posies in front of Cole's Corner in Sheffield or wherever it might be. And because I've created this machine that sorts people for me, I know immediately now, after 7 years of running my company, I know immediately when I find someone who I go, yeah, they're the ones for me. I really want to work with them. And I haven't been wrong in a good couple of years now because it's a habit now. It's a repetition of things. More things I can honestly say. I am built to handle that. This is something I'd be good at. There are no better people to handle this, and this aligns with my values. I'm excited, I'm pumped, I'm the right person for the job. I'm the screwdriver that's going to fit in that hole exactly, and we're going to turn it together. I know what you're thinking. God, this guy's a lot. He really loves values, he does. But it all sounds so pious and a bit quasi-religious and slightly culty, and I've got all these rules now I've got to follow, and I can't eat fish on a Friday, and all of that kind of stuff. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be honest with you and tell you what happens in the real world when you actually do this. So what saying no does in real life. The good of no is that it's the truth. I believe in this. I wouldn't work with other people in this. And so when I say it with, as you can probably imagine, and are experiencing right now, absolute conviction. I don't have to lie. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to talk in a way that is convincing to you. Because of my values and what I believe, you either want to work with me or you don't. For big businesses, that's easy. For freelancers and small businesses, it's hard to do because it's really, really hard to turn around and say, just please, I am who I am, accept me for who I am, pay me some money. Please, I need money. It's really hard. I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying I haven't made mistakes. I'm not saying that every job I've ever done is great. But what I'm trying to say is, if you go in there without a randomness and say no to the things that you don't want to do, that's what you want to do. And the ugly of no is that it's a risk. What if people don't like me for who I really am? What if I don't enjoy this? What if people don't actually want to pay me money to do the thing that I want to do? That's really tough. My response to that is, I'm really sorry that that's the case. But lying about it, trying to be someone you're not, is anxiety-inducing. There is a crowd for you, and if you go and do your due diligence, you do your market research, and you find that crowd, they will love you for who you are, not for who you're pretending to be. But it's a risk, because after all of that, you might not find your crowd. You're gonna find this out anyway. You might as well find it out up front than it is at the end when you've spent an awful lot of money on a project that might not be right for you. So, here's a riddle. I've said no every time someone has asked me for to discount, but I give lots of discounts. How does that work? Anyone? It's my shout. If someone says no, if someone asks me for a discount, I say, Lewis, I love what you do. It's brilliant, it's fantastic. I think it's worth £1 bajillion, but I want to pay you £1 bajillion minus 20%. Are they valuing me for who I am? Are they meeting my values? That big list of things I said before, we're ticking off ones already that we don't like. But I give lots of discounts. How do I give discounts? I give discounts to charities. I give discounts to people I really like working with. And the reason is because it's my values. I want to work for it. I'm willing to make a sacrifice to work with someone that I really want to work with. This is what it really means. Is it I can't afford it? Or I just want 20% off? I've been told in the past that the only reason they asked me for a discount is because they wanted to win. I didn't work with that person. But that's true. Just want a good deal. I just want a good deal. I just want to feel like I've won. I feel like I've moved around and done the things that I want to do. Okay? But that's undervaluing me. I can't afford it is the truth. And then we decide, will I be passionate? Will I be working for a fair rate? Fair rate's not defined by other people, it's defined by me. If you're asking me for a discount, I've already defined how much I think I'm worth. Get paid for your value. I decide that. Work with those who listen. I'm worth 10 grand. I'm really sorry, it's too expensive. We'd love to work with you. Is there anything we can do? Fine. I just need it to be 8 grand. Why? Because I want to win. And only work with things that I agree for. But it allows me to work with those who can't afford me and work with those who need it most. So I have charity rates, I have other stuff, I do free work for charities, that kind of stuff. When I give a discount. People cannot value you more than you value yourself. Has anyone in this room ever been asked to be paid, has ever been told by one of their customers that they'd like to pay them more than they offered?
Yeah.
Awesome. How? Tell me how.
Well, usually, once the work is started and they see the value,
Okay.
they really like working with me. I mean, I had a client who insisted on paying the invoice before we did any more work. And he always, if there's a leftover half an hour that we didn't use or a leftover session, he would go,
Great.
Don't worry about that. You've been so helpful.
Who wants to work with a client like that? Okay. We work with clients like that because we define what is value to us. You probably saw a couple of things just in the tea leaves that said, you know, these two guys seem like a nice guy, and you presented yourself in the right way. You valued yourself, so they valued you more. That's great. How many people have had a situation where they've gone, oh, we've paid you the first 30%, but we're not going to pay you the next 30% until you've done this, that, and the other, or we're not going to pay you the last little 25% of this because we don't think we've seen the value of it. Lots, right? That's the regular. That's why, and I'll be honest with you, anything under £5,000, I pay up front. You have to pay up front with me under £5,000. Over £5,000, we'll come to an agreement, but it's not bound by time. It is bound by, it's not bound by stages, it's bound by time. So you pay me at the start and you'll pay me after 60 days. And that's what it is, and we have a written agreement. And the reason for that is because I'm not doing anything for free, because I value myself. This is my favorite line in all of business. Can I have 20% off? Which 20% of this project do you not want me to do? Well, no, I want you to do it all. Then pay me to do it all, or pay me to do 20% left. That is a reframing device that you can use to do this. In 2025, I won 4 contracts by saying no directly to the client. That includes, can I have a discount? Okay? They wanted 25% off. When I asked them why, they said they don't know. I said, no, I'm not. And I walked away. And they came back the next day and said, go on then. Who here has said no and then someone's come back to them? Who here has said no? Interesting. If you said no, they never have a chance to come back and pay you what you're worth and what you valued. And I won every contract by saying no indirectly to someone at some point. Because I might go back to the capacity thing before. That's what we want to do. Direct no. Can I have a discount? No. £38,000 in orders in 2025. You'll notice that one of my values is be good, do good, and collaborate. And so I'm just very honest about money and numbers and all of that kind of stuff. An indirect no is, I don't think I'd be the right person for the job. Not working with you frees me up to work with someone who I do feel comfortable working with. Finding your own values and sticking to them will gain you a reputation of being trustworthy because people will know why you're doing it. They won't have to guess. You'll come across as stronger. You'll come across as more trustworthy. This is something, and I'm going to paint with a very large brush here. This is something that men are much better at doing than women. And the reason for that is because it involves really strong confidence and being strong within a room. And it's just something that it feels like men have a brain thing in them that just stops them from feeling embarrassed or getting into confrontation. And when I've worked with female leaders, this is a thing that we have to really focus on. Not because they're not good at it, not because they don't want to, but because they feel uncomfortable doing it. And I say to you, I would feel uncomfortable getting paid 25% less on a contract than I should be. And I'd rather not do that contract than do it and feel terrible for it. And for me, that's what I get. From doing those things, no one has ever given me a 1-star review for saying no to them wanting to pay me less. Never. No one has ever turned around and said, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. You're the worst person in the world. I'm going to come round and I'm going to do terrible things to your front garden. No one's ever said it to me. Why? Because it's business. It's not personal. Honesty time. My mission today was to show you how saying no for a reason leads to a stronger business. Have I achieved this mission? Yes. Fantastic. Okay. That's it. That's all I've got. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, queries, worries, concerns, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have.
First of all, thank you so much, Lewis. Right, peeps, project, hands up, and questions ahead.
If you don't ask any questions, I'll just assume this was great. So feel free to. That's fine. Kirsty.
Have you got an example of where you said two things? Have you got an example of where you said no and afterwards thought, as a yes, and I regret that? And have you got an example of where you said yes, even though you knew it was a no, and how did that go?
Yes, on both. So, the honest answer to the first question is every single time I say no to someone about something, there's an alternate multiverse where I said yes, and now I'm the happiest person on earth. Because that's how humans work. You are not trying to play a perfect game. If there was a person on earth who could play a sport and do what that sport requires every single time, they'd be the highest paid person on earth and everyone would know about them. In baseball, the greatest baseball players of all time, you get into the Hall of Fame for hitting 1 in every 3 baseballs. 1 in every 3. A striker like Harry Kane has taken hundreds of thousands of shots and has scored hundreds of goals. You do not need to be perfect. However, yes, of course, I have said no and then gone, I really should have said it. But what keeps me going is the other part of your question. So the other part of your question was, if I have ever said yes to something and then regretted it afterwards. About 4 or 5 years ago, Underpin transitioned from being a marketing company to being a business consultancy company. The reason for that was I got bored of doing amazing marketing campaigns and then the rest of the business didn't want. So I kept tinkering in business development and customer service and everything, and eventually I just was doing business development. One of the last things I did, and I was completely burnt out on marketing, didn't want to do it anymore. If I had to make a social media asset ever again, it was fine. I don't feel that way now, but I did at the time. Someone came to me and they went, really like what you do. I know you're transitioning from being a marketing person to being a business consultant, but would you do this thing for me? And it was a marketing campaign, it was a launch. And I said to him, yes. But I know you too well. You're a friend. So we need to put things in place to make sure that all of this works. Surprise, listeners, it went awfully. I gave him a cheap rate because he was a friend. I did extra work because he was a friend. We never spoke to each other properly because we were friends. We argued in that horrible, can you ask him to pass salt situation thing where you're not really talking to each other. So I'm now putting people in positions like a way station between us both. And in the end, I lost a friend. And that's sad. And I also didn't get paid the last half because I said, pay me in installments, it'll be fine. You're my friend, that'll be great. If I go back in time, I would have screamed, hoarse no. But that's hindsight, that's 2020. What I do is I try and take that and I try and make sure that I have it as part of my values. And one of those things is to be good. And I wasn't being good. I wasn't turning around to him and saying, can you please go find somebody else? I'll help you find somebody else. So that's one example. I've also took contracts where I've gone, yeah, I'll give you a bit of a discount. This was years ago. Yeah, I'll give you a bit of a discount and hated every moment of it because I'm going, why are you not paying me what I'm worth, blah, blah, blah. And it just gets into sticky situations. So yes, I hope what this is not is one of those classic YouTube dude bro situations where I'm telling you all you need to do is eat 40 pickled eggs a day and you'll grow big muscles. I want this to be a realistic possibility of something that you can do, and it does have good sides and it does have bad sides. Yes?
How do you exit a project halfway through if it's no longer like?
Oh,
How to do that?
that's good. That's a good question. Okay. I think that gets sorted. And this is, again, one of those things. So one of the things you'll really hear is, I thought of all this before you got here. Okay? I come up with all my values, come up with things, and I'm applying a independent, non-personal set of rules to you as a human being. I think my answer to that would be, is to, in advance, A, do this and prepare so you don't get into a situation where someone's going to be like that. Then have really strong terms, have really strong understanding, and a superpower is this. If you're truly good, and I have done this once, I've only needed to do it once. If I get paid in advance, I have the money. Which means if things go wrong and it's not working, I decide to give the money back. Not them. Really fantastic. I'll try and be as quick as I can with this. So there's there used to be a TV show on ITV called Golden Balls. And basically, at the end, the main thing was that you had two balls in front of you. One said share and one said steal. If you both chose share, you would equally share the money. If you both said steal, you both lose the money. But if one of you says share and one of you says steal, the person who stole gets the money. Okay? So there's an incentive for collaboration. This was on for years and years and years until someone who'd read a book on game theory came in and said to the person when they were talking, I am going to steal. I am. I'm never changing my mind. This is never happening. There's nothing you can say to me that will change my mind. I am stealing. Your only option is to share. If you share and I win the money, I promise I will give you half. But this is the only way this is going down. And they had to change the rules for that, and about 6 weeks later, they shut the whole thing down. Okay? Because someone had solved the problem. Why I'm telling you that story is, what that person did was assume complete control of the situation, even at the damaging of their own reputation. It took 4 hours for that person to finally pick share. And when he opened the ball, the other guy picked share. So that's the mind mess, is what ifs, okay? But by taking complete control of that situation, spending 4 hours in a studio with an audience and Jasper Carrot, who was probably in his 60s by that point and needed to lie down, to go, this is how much I believe in my values. I'm no longer willing to worry about this. If someone turns around to me and says, Lewis, you've not done a good project. I don't think you've done it good right. I've got good terms and conditions. I've really defined what it is that we do. I have done what I think I can. They still don't like it. Something has gone wrong. Something has gone terrible. And I look at my values and I see that that's the way it's going to be. And I want to exit. I don't want to work on this. If I have the ability to hand some of that money back, because that's a recompense that I can do, that's the right position to be in, than someone throwing you off because you haven't got. And if you think that this is something I've just made up, there are 2 blogs on my website. One is about golden balls, and the other one is about how I always ask for payment up front. Put yourself in a position. I say this with charities, so just a last quick one. I say this with charities. Charities do the work that government should be doing, is my theory. Okay? So when they go with cap in hand and say, please, sir, can I have a piece of bread so I can do some amazing charitable work? Can I fundraise £47? That is going in a submissive position. And what you want to do is you want to go in and you go, the Procurement Act 2023 says that you now need to do 10% of your work with charitable causes when you win a public contract. You've got £23,000 of contracts worth of social value to do. I'm a charity. I'm here to tell you that I can do that job. This is who I am. You now work for me. That's a very different way of dealing with it. Small businesses, freelancers should feel exactly the same way, because if they don't, your clients don't want to treat you like that, then they don't meet your values. You had a question before that you hadn't phrased properly. Have you phrased it properly yet?
I think it was answered.
Awesome.
So, all good.
That's great. Before I keep you from your lunch, do we have any further questions? Thank you so much for some great questions. Each one of those will now become a blog post.
Yay!
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
I will steal the clicker before I forget.
Who do I return this to?
Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
We have to run after.